What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Chuds BBQ. My name is Bradley Robinson, and today I'm going to show you how I made these beautiful, delicious, smoky, juicy, plump, amazing homemade sausages made all with a Kitchenaid stand mixer. Coming up. This is some meat. God, that's heavy. Mom, what am I doing?
Patting it dry. Look at, here comes Josie to help.
Oh, hey, buddy. And what I got here is some chunks of some lean brisket alongside some chunks of pork belly that I already cubed up ahead of time. And when I cubed this up, I made sure to make them extra small, a lot smaller than I typically would, because we're going through the stand mixer today, which is something that people have been asking me to do for a long time, because it really is a perfect intro to sausage making, because a lot of people already have a stand mixer, and you can buy an attachment for it to be a meat grinder, which you can grind and case your meat through. So if you want to do a test run for making sausage, this would be the easiest way to go about it without spending a bunch of money on designated gear. I've been putting this video off for a long time because I know it's going to be a pain in the butt, especially compared to my 1.5 horsepower grinder and designated stuffer, but it must be done. So that's what we're doing today. But before we get that meat grinder out, I'm going to pop all this in the freezer to get nice and cold. And while we wait for that meat to get nice and cold, let's go ahead and get all our spices ready. Starting with some kosher salt, some black pepper, some pink curing salt, some granulated garlic, some paprika, a little bit of cayenne, some mace, add a little bit of that Christmassy flavor to it. And of course, as our binder, we got some high temp milk powder. Mom, what should I whisk this up with? That'll do. And just get that all nice and mixed up. Dad, what are you reading about? Oh! This is in fact a stainless steel meat grinder attachment for the stand mixer, and I highly recommend getting the stainless one because I don't know what the other ones are made of, but if you put it through the dishwasher, they get super dusty and grimy and just absolutely awful. And this one comes with whatever you call this thing. Dad, what would you call these two things?
The housing.
Okay.
The auger.
The auger. Got a couple of different blades in here. Pretty cute. Got some different disc sizes as well. Small die, medium die, big die. Also got these tubes, which we're gonna need for casing these sausages. But we're gonna get this put together for grinding and stick it in the freezer with that meat so it's nice and cold.
You forgot the nut.
It's so cute. Beautiful. Now that our meat is nice and cold, and I'm not going super frozen because I don't want to burn out this motor, but it's cold enough to get a nice clean grind. And this is 3 pounds of meat, by the way. And now all we got to do is send it through. I'm going through the coarse die like I would on my normal grinder, and we're just gonna see how this goes because I've never done this before. And apparently my dad's not cool enough to have the barbecue black gloves, so I look like a physician right now.
What is that?
Oops. Get a few in there. I'm just gonna fire this thing up to high, I think. Oh, that's not a clean grind. We got some smearing going on. It's struggling, but it is working. Can you grab me that plunger? Thank you. I'm really glad I'm not wearing long sleeves right now because this bit, it's kind of stressful. Well, Mom, you might find yourself a new stand mixer under the tree this year. That sounds like metal is scraping.
Oh.
Was that stressful?
Yes.
I know this is your baby. Definitely warm.
It used to be anyway. You might be under the tree for you this year.
But there we go. Decent grind, you know. That wasn't as painful as I thought it was going to be, although we're all looking a little stressed right now. Decent looking grind, nice and pebbly. Now we're going to give this a little bit of a mix to make sure all that fat is evenly dispersed, and go ahead and add all of our spices. And just get this going. You could do this in the stand mixer with the paddle attachment and the bowl, which I'm now just thinking about, and get a good mix that way. But it's just as easy to mix this by hand if you're on a sheet tray and things are falling over the edges. Trying to save on dishes here, folks. We're also gonna go in with our water, which is just 10% of the weight of the meat. And now we're gonna mix this for a good long time until it's nice and sticky and nice and tacky. We could have done this outside in the cold. That would have kept everything really nice and chilled. All right, there we go. Starting to come together. I was just telling Dad that this is kind of like the Pfefferbeißer flavor profile with mace, salt, and pepper. And in that video, you said it wasn't peppery enough. So
Okay.
we're gonna add a little fresh crack right at the end here. But as you can see, this is starting to look nice and sticky, nice and tacky, which is exactly what we want. Get that protein extraction going for a nice bind. All right, feeling nice and sticky. Now it's time to send this thing back through that poor stand mixer.
Oh no!
And get it nice and cased up. All right, to get this thing ready for casing, I've got this little spindle here. The blade is out, now that this thing has cooled down a little bit. We're gonna put that right there, which is just gonna stop the auger from going this way. Then we're gonna pop the tube on here. Goes in like that, and try our best to get this on. The odds of that still being aligned are pretty slim, I think. Feeling good, feeling nice and tight. Got some natural hog casings here, everyone's favorite thing to look at.
Ew.
And of course, the one I picked is extremely long, so I might have to cut this down a little bit, you know. Send a little water through, and just get this loaded up. Why are you looking at me, Dad? There's nothing to see here, buddy. Will you please stop making eye contact with me? All right, this is definitely more casing than we need, but I'm committed. There it is. All right, before I tie that off, we're gonna send some meat through so we don't have a giant air pocket. This might get messy, Dad. Gotta say, I'm not excited for this part because I know it's gonna be a pain in the butt. I mean, casing in general is a pain in the butt, but going through a machine that's not really designed for doing this, it's probably gonna be pretty tedious. But luckily, you're over here making cake or whipped cream or something, right?
It's cream cheese frosting.
Oh, you're over here making us some old fashions, right?
Yep.
Love it! That will help this process go a little smoother, I think. We're watching football. It's a good day. It's a good day. Cheers.
Cheers.
Clink, clink, clink.
Happy Christmas.
Ooh, that's a good one.
That is good.
But it's time to send some meat through this grinder. I'm gonna use really small pieces so I can drop it in and try not to clog this thing up too much. And we're just gonna see how this goes. I'm not sure what speed to go. We're just flying by the seat here, folks. Ooh, it's very sticky. It's coming. They say you don't want to see how the sausage is made. Oh, there we go. All right, now it's time to tie it off. Snip the what?
Tip.
All right, I'm gonna need some assistance on this part, Dad. So if you want to throw some gloves on.
Better him than me.
I mean, you're welcome.
No.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, you're gonna be in charge of feeding this thing full of meat, and I'm gonna do my damnedest over here to try and make some decent links. Oh no, my knot is not tying. Oh, that's not good. I'm glad I figured that out first.
Yeah.
No, they're not. Slippery stuff, those hog casings. All right, are you ready?
Yep.
Yeah, I think the plunger is gonna be necessary. Oh, there we go.
Oh my God.
Oh goodness. That's why I was doing the little balls and chucking it in there, but so it doesn't get too gunked up. Oh yeah, this is sticky stuff. Oh,
You could always just make patties.
yeah, I haven't done a good fail video in a while. This might be it. Ooh, there we go. We almost got a full link.
Nothing inefficient about this process.
No, not at all. Do you think we should crank the speed up? Yeah, I don't want to burn it out, but at the same time. All right, first link officially done. This is why I didn't do a 5-pound batch. I did a 3-pound batch. Something I never thought I'd do with my dad.
Okay.
You know, in retrospect, it would appear that I got the easy side of this job.
It's gonna be halftime soon, son.
This is not fun. But, no, I've got a few concerns right now. One is just looking at the meat, I can tell that it's getting worked really hard in there, which is definitely gonna mess up our texture a little bit. Like, this is no longer a coarse ground. This is probably gonna come out more like an emulsified sausage. Also, I'm sure we're generating a bunch of heat, which might break the emulsion. And two, it's been like 30 minutes and we're 5 sausages deep. So this is one of those situations, I talked about it before, where sausage is a daunting task or hobby to get into. But if this is your first experience with it, you're never gonna make sausage again. Like, do you ever have plans this far in to make sausage again at this house? Right, that's kind of what I'm saying. So it's the buy once, cry once situation, folks. But it is possible, you know, these are some nice plump little links. Oh no, I broke one. We'll move past it and see what happens. Because I'm ready for this process to be done. All right, we're almost done, buddy. We're gonna get this knocked out.
I can just drop the rest of this on the floor and let Josie have it.
Oops.
And then oops, then we'd be done.
God, I hate this so much. Remember how I told you I've been avoiding this video for 3 years? All right. Ah! 1 plunge equals 1 centimeter. All right, we're on the last link. Oh, I think we are about to call it a day. This last one's gonna be a little tiny nubbins. You have to put so much pressure on it. We were just talking about the gear ratio and the mechanical advantage of the actual designated stuffer, which is, you know, a lot of people ask me, why would I have a stuffer if I can case through the grinder? This is why. Like, we have to put at least, like, what, 20, 30 pounds of force.
Yeah, and then you have to pull it up again, which is just as hard as pushing it down.
I'm kind of sore. Rest, sweet child. Damn. Like literally sore. And just like that, folks, after a very painful experience of making however many links this is, these are looking pretty good. Like I was saying, you can definitely tell that they're looking pretty overworked. And I popped one. This is one that tore because it was hanging. And other than that, I'm gonna pop these in the fridge for a bit. And that's what's gonna allow the pink salt to do its work, let those casings dry out a little bit and tack out. Just, you know, we're making sausage here, folks. Dad, how was your first time making sausage?
Oh, it was a workout.
Yeah, it was, it's usually a lot easier than that. So
Yeah.
I'm sorry the first time we did this together, we had the handicap of the old stand mixer. But it did the job. You can, in fact, make sausages nice and plump with a stand mixer. But I'll see y'all tomorrow. 1 day later. Well, actually, it's 2 days later because time got away from me yesterday. And in other news, still no snow on the ground. Don't think it's going to happen this year. But it is about 20 degrees, which is nice and chilly, which will make cold smoking these sausages a little bit easier, which is, in fact, the next step. So this is them after an overnight in the fridge, about 24 hours. They were looking nice and dry, and I didn't want them to dry out too much, so then I popped them in a baggie here, and they're looking absolutely beautiful. So now it's time to throw them on the old Chud box here. And on the pit we go. And for wood, I got some hickory chunks. Just gonna toss these on. Let's get it nice and smoky and try and keep these temps pretty low. All right, it's been a couple of hours. A lot of thick smoke came through here, and these guys are looking nice and smoky and nice and red. So at this point, they're still rocking about 100 degrees internal. I want to bring that up to right around 150 to make sure they're cooked through. That's really going to help those casings out and make sure they're safe to eat on the off chance that we undercook them later. So I'm just going to throw in some more charcoal, bump the temps up a little bit, and we'll check back in. And just like that, up to temp, looking absolutely beautiful. Loving that red color. Reading about 150, 155 internal. So now into an ice bath we go. Well, this is just a water bath, but again, it's like 15 degrees out here, so should be fine. And this is just gonna stop the cooking process rapidly. It's gonna help shrink up those casings tight to the meat so they get a nice snappy bite out of them, as well as cooling them down. I see a lot of people who skip this step, and I've skipped it a few times myself, and it really does make quite a difference. And it also has the added benefit of cleaning off your sausages of any dust or debris, because everybody loves a clean weenie. And there they are in all their beauty, folks. Pretty good looking sausages for using just a stand mixer and a little bit of smoke. And it's at this stage you could pop these in a vacuum seal bag, stick them in the freezer, and they would last for a very long time, which I'll probably do with most of these. But first, we got to fire a few off and see how they came out. Alrighty, we got this Chud box fired up to about 275, 300 degrees. And now it's time to throw on a couple sausage links. And they certainly smell like sausages. Doing an indirect cook, so flames over here. And we'll throw one of these blown out ones on here. That'll be our little sacrificial link for probe testing. Beautiful. Shouldn't take long, maybe 30, 40 minutes. And I gotta say, I'm still a little nervous. I know we did a lot of the technique right. It's really just the texture of the sausage that I'm worried about, but I swear I keep seeing something moving in these woods.
There's a snake in my boot! Ah!
And just like that, these are officially done. Looking very nice, I must say. Feeling very firmed up, nice and turgid, nice and plump. So let's see how they came out. Definitely pretty hot doggy, as expected, but smelling good, nice and smoky. Cased properly though, that's for sure. Nice, snappy, tight bind on there. All that's left to do now is see how they taste. Looking pretty good. It's got a very big kielbasa vibe to it. That's pretty flavorful. Nice and smoky, very snappy casing on there, pretty juicy, but you're gonna eat like a store-bought kielbasa because it's got that emulsified texture to it, but let's see what everyone else thinks. Father, would you like to try this sausage that we painstakingly made?
Yes.
With nothing but a Kitchenaid.
They smell great and they look great. Let's see how they taste.
Oh,
Very nice.
not too bad, right?
A little mustard maybe?
Definitely some mustard is necessary for these. Is this your first time ever making a sausage?
Casing one, yeah. I tried breakfast sausage, but just stopped at patties. With a stand mixer, it's just a lot of work.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it unless you're really interested in making sausage. I would just start out by buying a caser because the grind was fine, kind of tedious, but if investing in anything, the casing.
The caser, yeah.
The caser is definitely necessary, but it's got a little more kick to it than I was expecting.
Yeah.
We're very black pepper forward.
Is that what it is? I forget. Did you put like cayenne or anything?
Yeah, there's a little bit of cayenne in there, but
definitely got some kick. Why don't you stop and we'll get some mustard?
okay. All right, we've got some mustard now. This is your favorite mustard, you said?
Yep. Engelhofer spicy brown mustard.
Ooh.
It's the closest I found to what you get in Germany on Wursten.
Very nice. I think that'll pair perfectly. Let's give it a little taste, shall we?
Yep.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yep, that makes it.
That's a good bite right there. Engelhofers, huh? What does that mean?
Engel means England or English. Hof is house or yard or property. So Engelhofer is the house of the Englishman.
Oh, very good. Let's see what everyone else thinks.
It is an interesting texture.
Yeah, it's a kind of bologna hot dog vibe, but
Do you recommend it with the mustard?
I'd say try it first by itself, and then you can try it with the mustard.
It's not bad. It's good, actually.
Well, good.
Thanks, Brad. Merry Christmas. Becca, come try it.
Becca, this is the first and probably only sausage that Dad and I have ever and will ever make because it was a pain in the butt. But let us know what you think.
What kind of animals are in here?
Beef and pork.
I like the texture of it. That one had a little bit of a blowout.
Yeah, that was the sacrificial one. We weren't going to case it again.
I like it.
Is it time for the official taste test?
Okay.
All right, let's see if this thing snaps. Ooh, juicy, juicy.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. I like it.
Let me use this little spreader knife here.
Nice. You're so adept with a knife.
I got it from my brother.
What an adorable little sandwich. Little sausage sandos. How does it pair with the sweet roll?
I kind of love it, I think.
It's excellent, Bradley. Thank you for making it for us.
Yes, Mother. I'm glad you enjoyed. All right, y'all, and that is it. That is how to make some absolutely fantastic smoky sausages using nothing but a Kitchenaid stand mixer and a Chud box. But any grill would work. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I've been getting that question for years now about if it's possible to make sausage with nothing but a stand mixer. And absolutely, those were some really good looking links. Love the flavor profile. They were nice and plump, nice and snappy. It was just a lot harder than it needed to be. So if you're at all curious about sausage making, I would definitely recommend giving this a try. It's a fun little weekend project. But if you have the means, or if you want to take sausage making a little bit more seriously, I would highly recommend starting out by buying a cheap stuffer, because that would make this whole process a lot less painful. But all that being said, if you enjoyed this video, let me know by hitting that subscribe button. Let YouTube know by dropping a like on this video. If you give this recipe a try for yourself, be sure to tag me on Instagram at Chuds BBQ. I'd love to see what y'all are cooking. Big shout out to all the Patreon members. Thank you for supporting Team Chud and allowing me to keep making all these videos. And until the next time I see you, please go cook something outside. Peace!